I love the service. I love that rush. I love watching people eat and be happy, hopefully. And that's why I love missing being at BKK when I can see all the customers and their reactions when they love something or they're interested. They're like, oh wow, like they don't expect something. The dish gonna come out like that and they're happy.
Today on Dirty Linen, we are celebrating the appointment of Nada Thomas as head chef of Her, a 4-level restaurant in Melbourne, or it's a restaurant, it's a bar, it's a Thai restaurant. So Nada has taken on the food on the ground floor and is changing the concept, which is a big thing to do. Nada, welcome to Dirty Linen.
Hi, how are you, Dani?
I'm really good, and I'm really excited to chat to you. I love hearing about promotions, especially of talented female chefs. So congratulations for stepping into this new role.
Oh, thank you so much, and thanks for having me. I'm very excited.
I'm excited too. Her is a pretty amazing place. It opened in Melbourne, 1 or 2 years ago. It's a rooftop. There's cocktails on tap. There's all these different concepts. There's a listening room on the second floor. It's really a multi-purpose venue. For people who haven't had the pleasure of going there, can you just describe it for us?
Well, it's a place that you can start from the ground floor, and then you can go to the music room, and then go upstairs in the rooftop, have a couple cocktails, and if you're hungry, you can try the BKK, where I used to work as a sous chef. It's like a multi-level place. Some people just come in to say hi, and then just there where we see them for dinner, which is great.
Yeah, it's like you could really explore it over the course of an evening and have all these different experiences.
We call it like an adult playground.
Yeah, perfect. And so you mentioned that you were a senior sous chef at BKK, which is the Thai restaurant that Sunjun Mo, a previous guest on the podcast, is heading up. It's quite different to be cooking Thai food and now cooking European food in the same business.
Yeah, it is. It's all my story was when I decided that I want to do something different. That's why I reached out to our old executive head chef, Nick Bennett, that I love Thai food. Is there any chance? Because I was doing 10 years of Italian desserts and cooking. I wanted to do something totally new. And everyone's so surprised. No one knew about it. And he was like, yeah, why not? I was the first person who was hired for this building, actually. And then, I love Thai food too. So luckily I had Mo as my head chef. And then we did everything from scratch, still doing it, like all the paste, all the sauces, all the dressings. So which was great. I just needed that refreshment. But then this role came about, and then I love European food. I love Spanish food, Italian. And I really wanted this kind of change, like a progress. So I said, yes, why not? So another big change in my life.
Yeah, so the concept at Her when it opened on the ground floor was French-style food, like beautiful burnished duck and steak tartare, a lot of really classic French dishes. But tell me how you're changing the menu there.
We are just want to use a bit of everything, all the cuisines. So a bit of European. I love Spanish, Italian, Greek, a little bit of my heritage, like a bit of Turkish. And then French as well too is great. So it's when we have a lot of different cuisines, I think we can be more creative. And also with the produce is amazing. Some vegetables are great in one way, some of them different. So it also gives a bit of variety as well. So of course we don't want to make everything mixed up. You have a confusion, but just a nice harmony in the menu. Yeah.
Does that really feel like a Melbourne style of menu to you?
I think so. I think a lot of places you go, they with the seasonality, and they just trying different cuisines, techniques, and yeah, I think so. I think it's going to be good for us too. So.
You mentioned working with your executive chef, with Nick Bennett, and I understand that Paul Dunlop has taken on a role across the group as well. Can you talk about the balance between being a young leader yourself, but also having these executive chefs that you can turn to for mentoring and advice? How does that all balance?
Well, I'm so lucky enough to know them before I have started this role. So I had great connection with both of them. So they were always there for me. So Nick was like that, but now I have Paul as well. Lucky enough, we work together at Press Club. And then basically all we do is like I'll tell what I need and then I get the help that I need. So it's just like that. So it's a very good relationship. We kind of similar with Paul, which is very funny. When I think of something, I say, I had this idea or I like this. And he's like, oh my God, it's me too. So it's a very good relationship. We lean on each other and like if I need him, like, yeah, he's there for me, which is great.
And what sort of things do you need as you come into your first head chef role? Like what things are you finding the most challenging?
So I started as a pastry chef, so it was like you focus on one area. And then when I become a sous chef, it was a little bit more. But then we were dividing the jobs, so you have a couple more things on your plate. But as a head chef, it was like a whole thing. It was like a big world I was entering. So I needed like the costings a little bit more because you have to do everything. Like little details about, it's not just like ordering your vegetables and your seafood, and there's other stuff, the takeaway containers, the cleaning products, and you have to deal with the kitchen hands, you have to, like every little detail. So it's like, of course, when I have someone like Paul is experienced in all of these, it's a great help. And he already knows sometimes by looking at me what I'm going to ask him. So it's just great to have someone by your side that much experience.
And I mean, I'm sure that Mo has also been, I suppose, an inspiration to you. She's a machine in the kitchen and just a lot of experience managing, her previous role at Red Spice Road. She oversaw a restaurant that seated 400 people or something. She had a massive team. She's a complete gun. Like, what sort of things have you learnt from watching her?
Oh, that's what makes me want to take the job as a head chef, just watching her, being with her. It's like like you said, she's a mission, she's a gun. And then she was so organized, like how she was dealing with our team, and then she was giving me that role to me. So like she was like, okay, now it's your turn, so I can learn, and then leave it up doing the rosters. She was starting and she was showing us, and they're like, okay, you should do it. So like every little thing she was doing, and then she was sharing with us, and then she taught me a lot. But then after a while, it was like this small kitchen that I wanted a bit more, and like she probably realized this too, but and then lucky enough that I had this gig, but I'm not so far from her. And she was the first person I always asked questions. I'm like, oh, like I had this with the deputy, can't figure it out, or any other ordering, anything. And she was always there for me, so which is great. I'm very lucky.
That's really interesting. I mean, to have this, it's almost like you've got a restaurant group under one roof. I mean, do you feel like that's an advantage for you in terms of your career progressing?
I think so. It's like it's like two different restaurants, but we're like a big team. If we need something, it's like we don't need to outsource it. We just go. Even with the Aubrey afloat or Aubrey, if we need something we don't have, we can't get it, or a long weekend, or we need to just call them, and then just like we all look after each other.
Yeah, so for people who don't know, the same group owns Arbory, which is a bar that runs alongside Flinders Street Station, and Arbory Afloat, which is a summertime barge that pops up on the Yarra River every spring to great excitement. A bit of a party scene down there. But yeah, I guess a lot of opportunities for consolidating back of house and I guess finding pathways within that group. It's really interesting. And so Nada, I mean, there are a lot of women in kitchens these days, but still not as many as we'd like to see, especially in leadership positions. How do you see that side of your career progression?
Like before Mo, I've never worked with a female head chef before. So it was a bit different. But for me, I never, like in the kitchen, I don't see gender or age. I had some so young, like a younger sous chefs, and I would just chef the parties. And then I never see that, but now I understand like it was hard for women. When I first started cooking, I was thinking, oh my God, it's a hard job, like how they were surviving the women. But I guess like we can do anything. And it's good to see a lot of strong women. And then I would like to hope that like it is I don't think it should be defining the factor of who we are hiring as a role.
So Nada, tell us about some of the dishes you're doing there. And also, I know you're looking really carefully at the produce you're using. Maybe talk about some of the producers that you're really excited to showcase and the dishes that their produce turns up in.
I'm so lucky enough to come across with Natura, which they are an amazing group that they reach out all the farmers around Melbourne, which they don't have access to come to the restaurant. So they go and every week they tell us what's out there, what's coming, and then they have a big product list, and we get to choose, and then they deliver Monday to Saturday. That was great. Like we just saw some beautiful white asparagus from Tasmania, and they were talking about it. These beautiful honeydew melons. So we have that, and also I come across with Somerset Farms. Chloe is so lovely. Her salad mixes, her broad bean flours, all her like flowers is amazing. So every Thursday she delivers us, so we use it in our kitchen. And then we have super rural foraging as well, so where we can just get our little flowers, little bits and pieces, and again, every day they can deliver it to us, Monday to Friday. And the cheeses, that's amore, Italian cheeses, they're very helpful. And then we got these little beautiful ricottas, and they're beautiful cow cheese milk. And then also we can just go ask them what is out there, what's good, and they're always helpful. And yeah, it's good. I'm still searching like around like different little producers. So we're just starting slowly.
Yeah, sure. No, it's exciting times, and when so many of those producers that you mentioned, we've had on the podcast or on the producers podcast as well. So it's certainly a beautiful network of people that you're sort of building around you. What if I was to come to her, Nada? Like, what would you suggest that I order? What would you love to feed me?
Well, I would love you to try the Wagyu. It's Mayura Wagyu tongue with a gribish. It's so good. Everyone has a bit of a thing with the offal, but it is like, it's delicious. It melts in the mouth. We get it from Global Meats, and from also we have the pakeri pasta we get all our beautiful baby zucchinis from Natura to make that dish, and the broad beans and broad bean leaves. It's a butter sauce. Pakeri pasta is from Campania. It's I get them from Battisti Group with their beautiful Italian products. And probably you can finish with the Marsala apples. That's my favorite. It's like an apple pie, but there's no crust, so it just serves on a bowl. Beautiful salted caramel sauce, and finish with like milk ice cream.
Oh my goodness, you have totally sold me on everything.
And there is more.
Really good. I bet there is more. So Nada, you mentioned your Turkish background. Can you take us all the way back to your childhood? Tell us where you grew up in Turkey and what place food played in your life.
Well, I was born in Izmir, but my dad is Libyan, so I have a little bit of Middle Eastern in me as well, Libyan. So we grew up Izmir. So Izmir was always with the weather, was like cooking. Cooking was a big deal for us, like as a family, and then I love to share like what I was making with our neighbors. There was like a little community, and people used to call each other, oh, like we make this or we make that. But then my father loved cooking, and then he was like trying to get me into cooking. Maybe, I don't know, maybe he was bored of my mom's cooking, but he was like trying to show me cookbooks, and I'm like, would you like to try it? And they were all English, so we wanted to learn English. And then so it helped me a lot in that way too. I was like looking at the dictionary, finding some words that I'd never seen. And then just like we just started cooking. He was getting me shake and bakes to be like get more comfortable, easier. And then it just started. Yeah, and then I was just like watching the TVs, the programs, and then I just fell in love with cooking. But I always loved teaching as well, so I didn't know actually what to do first. I like kids. I used to teach my brother or like helping with his homeworks, his friends. And then I tried the uni back in Turkey, but it just didn't happen. I didn't get what I wanted. And then my sister wanted to go abroad. That she was like, "Would you like to come?" I'm like, "Okay." And it was good that we had the opportunity to do that. But then everyone was like, "You should do something fun. Don't be a teacher." I was like, "Why don't you be a chef?" I was like, "Okay, yeah, so it sounds fun." And I watched all the movies, But then I just joined Willem English. And then we picked Melbourne because everyone told us that it was a culinary city, like all multi-diversity. And then, I joined Willem English and then start working. And it was my first job, actually. Before that, I never worked before when I started cooking. And then the rest was history.
Wow, that's amazing, Nada. So what year was it that you came to Australia?
I was 24, not that young, but I was, what year is it? 2004.
Okay, right. So you've been here a while.
Yeah, it's going to be my 20th next July.
Yeah.
My 20 years, yeah.
Yeah, got it. Incredible. And what were some of your key experiences as you cooked your way around Melbourne?
I think one of the biggest changes was when I worked at Scusami. I met Ricard. He was a Spanish chef, and then he showed me the world of pastry. I just fell in love because at that point I was either gonna leave cooking because it was too much stress. It was like larder and pastry always together. It was just too much. And then, but just I met him, and then I just focused on pastry more. And then I joined Press Club, which I just did only pastry. I always call Press Club like my London. Where like I came from Turkey to here, but then everyone goes to London to learn working on those Michelin restaurants. Anyways, when I started Press Club, I made amazing chefs, and then Joe Garber was great. Learned so much. I didn't work there long, maybe 14 months, but it was like great. Learned a lot, and I just joined Cecconi's, which is really like 10 years of pastry. And I think they were my family, Cecconi's, yeah.
That's so interesting. And I mean, it's really interesting that pastry sort of saved you from leaving kitchens. And it's so interesting to hear about, this one mentor that could steer you on a different path that otherwise we would have lost you altogether, Nada. What about, I mean, why do you think you've now moved away from pastry?
Well, after 10 years, I mean, I was doing a lot there. One stage, I did all the sections, and I came back on the pastry. I did the meat section. Besides pasta section, I did all, like, just moved around. It was good. But then when I back on the pastry, I was just starting to repeat myself. I just feel like it's like I need something else. I just need, I don't know, after a point of it was getting easy. I wanted another challenge maybe, but something different. I could have just stayed there. It was my family. It was so hard for me to leave. But I think I needed that to just shake up my life, get out of my comfort zone, actually. So, yeah.
And do you feel now, having worked both sides of the fence, pastry and back onto savoury? I mean, are there things that you can bring from the pastry kitchen into the savoury kitchen that you think are really helpful? Yeah,
I'll be more organised because in the pastry everything has to be like ticking like a clock. You have to be very precise, organized. You do your prep is done, and the service is just smooth. And one thing is wrong, you forget your gelatin in the mousse, and that's it, you're done. So I think I bring that and then be more organized, like the sections, the prep, and we're just ready for the service with everything. So, and then, because I always say that the last thing people remember is always the dessert. So until everything finishes, I say you always have to be ready. Never just close your sections because it had to be always 100%.
And what about, that experience at BKK in the Thai kitchen? What have you been able to take from that to bring back to your European kitchen at her? It's
at the working at BKK, it was it's a fast-paced kitchen. We're very, but it was just fast. We're doing everything from scratch, like all the pace, and then it's The way it is that the third level is the restaurant. It's a service kitchen, and we shared our prep area with the basement kitchen with her. Now that I'm head, and then we were doing everything there, and then we kind of like learn how to control the prep, because if someone is doing the prep and they go into the service kitchen, we try to learn how to be consistent. So it doesn't matter I'm making the prep or my like a Suda making or Mo is making the prep. It was always the same. So that was a good thing to learn. It's just not like someone down there doing and going up there is different or someone else. The consistency was good, and then working in a fast kitchen was good, and working with the charcoal barbecues was amazing. I missed that bit for downstairs. Yeah, and
interesting. And so Nada, it's coming into summer. It's going to be really busy in the restaurant. Like, what do you, I suppose, what are you looking forward to? But, if there's anything that you're nervous about, tell us about that as well.
Not nervous, but I mean, it's going to be my first Christmas menu here. It's going to be my first New Year's. So it's like, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to the summer produce. Like building my team, because I knew them before that because I was at the prep in the basement, but now like I'm working with them. We're very close. We're very small, like 5 people. So I'm just looking to grow with them.
Yeah, amazing. And you've been on this cooking journey for 20 years now. Like, as you look back, like, what kind of advice would you have for young people who are coming into the industry, or perhaps at a turning point as you were when you were wondering if cooking was really for you?
I always tell them I think they really have to love it, like really, really love it. It's like no other way. It just becomes your life. You should do things without even thinking, oh, it's my day off, or it's like I'm off tonight. But you always, not kind of working, but like you get inspiration from everywhere. Love. It never stops. There's always something. It's alive, I say that. And they shouldn't be thinking about like, a day is a day, a Saturday or Sunday, Friday, it's like public holidays. It just becomes like natural for me. Like it's the same day. I mean, most of the times I found that young people focus on this. Oh, my friends are going for a weekend away, or some, oh, I have to work. Like that is the hard thing. They should be okay with it, because every places are different too. Like we're in this big company open 7 days. For me, when I do the roster, I don't mind. Like I wasn't giving them weekends off, and they're like, oh, I have a weekend of this. Not like we are. Say, well, we are busy on a Monday. No different than a Saturday. So it's like. So they just have to be more open to that, the new life, not like a 9 to 5 life, and just love it, I guess.
Yeah, that's really interesting. And I mean, what is it that you love about what you do?
I love the service. I love that rush. I love watching people eat and be happy, hopefully. And that's why I love missing being at BKK when I can see all the customers and their reactions when they love something or they're interested. They're like, oh, wow, like they didn't expect something. The dish is going to come out like that, and they're happy.
Can you see the customers at her?
Oh, no, because we're in the basement.
The service kitchen's in the basement, right? Yeah. But
they want to put a screen for me so I can see the people, which will be good.
Yeah, I reckon that would be good. That would be good to see those reactions.
Yeah, I miss that. Like at the presser, we have the chef's table. When I was in the dessert, I get to talk to them. Joe used to tell me you have to sell the special to them. So I was like, oh, yeah, okay. It was good interaction.
Yeah. Well, Nada, really exciting to chat to you, and congratulations on the new role and getting your team and your menu bedded in. I wish you all the best for the rest of spring and summer. I'm sure it's going to be very busy, and I'm definitely coming in to eat all that food.
Oh, that's great. Thank you so much for your time. And yeah.
Really appreciate it. Thank you, Nada.
Thank you so much, Dani. Bye.
This is Dirty Linen, and I'm Dani Valent. We air the issues that the hospitality industry finds hard to talk about, hearing from different people with unique perspectives. We want to hear from you as well. If you have something that needs to be said about a topic, get in touch so we can include your perspective. Contact us at dirtylinenat.deepintheweeds.com.au or hit us up on Insta at Dirty Linen Podcast. We can't wait to hear from you.
This